Okay, so this is a questionable decision to do this right now. I really wanted to get this video up in response to Kate's stuff, but I'm too tired to be vertical. I had to get up at 4:15 in the morning for the flight on Saturday, and then my flight was super delayed, so I didn't get home until like 3:15 this morning. And now I'm theoretically supposed to be sleeping, but I was unable to sleep because I was so focused on the fact that I wanted to make this video. So hopefully after this I can sleep. In responses. Yeah, the weekend of 8/27, which is this weekend. That's the weird way to phrase that. This weekend is good for me for a video. I was not able to do this past weekend, obviously, but I could be very flexible for this weekend. Opening a tab and never looking at it again, I do that a lot. Where I'll be like, oh, I need to read this article. I want to consider buying this thing. I want to, I don't know, play this game, whatever. And then I just won't look at it. I don't usually do that with Messenger because I have notifications on for Messenger. And I don't know the last time I logged out of Facebook. I wouldn't know my password because that's how long it's been since I logged out of Facebook. God bless Google for remembering passwords. I don't know if I should say that on the internet. Should I? I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, my phone has like a gazillion tabs open, and a lot of them I'm like, yeah, I'm totally gonna come back to this. Christmas of 2020, there was this commercial on, like every 5 minutes, and it was this song, "How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You," and I still have that tab with that song open in my browser because I wanted to remember it, and it is like one of the oldest ones, and I refuse to close it, and that way I'll always, hear it in my head when I scroll by it with no intention of opening it. Very, very weird system. Very weird. Yeah. Flying on points, I am like genuinely hyperfixating on this, which is really not healthy because, like, obviously, until I actually have the points, there is no game of booking them or even researching them. Not really. Given the geographical difficulties, I don't know where to set as a goal. I don't know who's willing to fly where. San Francisco or Seattle are probably easier than Eugene. I looked at Portland. Unfortunately, that would be like 2 connections for Nella, possibly 1 for Oliver. Seattle might be a little easier, or San Francisco would be a little easier. Theoretically, if I'm still here, San Francisco is my home base area, in which case that would not be hard at all. It'd be a lot of driving to go to the airport 3 times, considering it's like ridiculously far, but I would do it. So yeah, I'm hyperfixating. There's no point in doing it now. I have like not even enough. Well, I have enough points for me to go round trip to Seattle, and then I would be alone there, and nobody else could get there. So there's no point in me thinking about this right now. But it's really hard not to hyperfixate when I came up with this idea that I'm so stoked about. And obviously, this would be like really long-term commitment, sort of, because it's like I might not have the points for a year, and then at that point we would book a year ahead, and it's like, okay, can I really? Do I have the patience for 2 years? Do I? I do. I think. I hope. Or I'll end up spending them on myself, and maybe a mix of both would be a reasonable goal because I'm very impatient sometimes, and if I was like sitting on a gazillion points and unable to use them, I might be sad. So mix of both. Reading as a coping mechanism, hard same. Oh my god. Anytime I have anxiety, I'm just like, let me reread a book that is completely brainless and happy and part of my heart, and that helps get rid of my anxiety. It helps calm me, and like I stress about certain things sometimes, and I have like a lot of intrusive thoughts, and when I'm reading something that's that positive, the intrusive thoughts can't get in, and then by the time I finish reading, I'm so tired I can fall asleep, which is great. It really helps for managing anxiety, especially rereading, as we've talked about. You talked about some people don't reread. This is such a weird concept to me because there are some people who, like, literally never do it. And it's like, is there... People rewatch TV shows and movies. Like, books are the same to me. It's like if I love it that much, of course I want to re-experience it. It's weird that you wouldn't with your favorites 50 times. Okay, maybe that's excessive. Um, it's interesting you're talking about the story with Alice, and my version of that was Harry Potter, because that started coming out, is it 97, 99? I'm not sure. So like when I was around the same age, and then they came out more frequently when I was a preteen and teenager, and that was when I was a bookworm constantly reading. So those were the books I would have had in my bag at all times. And similarly to what you're saying, they're just so familiar. So when I have tried to learn various languages over the years, many, I have picked up books in those languages. So I have tried Harry Potter in French, German, and Spanish. And all three of them, it was really easy, and it has nothing to do with my reading comprehension in any of those languages, and entirely to do with my familiarity with the books. I used to play kind of a game. I would flip to a random page, and I would just try to see if I could use context clues from the language I knew to figure out where I was in the book and find the scene. And it was never hard because I know the scene so well. And sometimes it would take a few lines or a few paragraphs, but I could always do it. And that felt cool, and I felt proud of it, but it really has nothing to do with the language. Teenagers, yeah, no, I have no interest. I'm sure I was a very embarrassing teenager myself, but it's like I don't feel like dealing with them. I also am like incapable of watching shows of teenagers right now. Like the secondhand cringe, and just like I've aged out of this, and I very much feel like a full adult now. Like around the beginning of my New York era, so like 2017 or so, when all of a sudden I had all of these friends in my 40s and 50s and 60s, it was like I don't want to be a teenager. I don't want to be a young 20s young adult. I want to be an adult. I want to have freedom and independence and be my own person and not care what other people think as much. And all of those negative teenager things just don't appeal to me anymore. So I avoid them. But I also avoid children. I think they're just as bad most of the time, except for specific children who belong to specific people I like family or friends. Otherwise, there are a lot of bad parents who don't control their children enough, and therefore the children end up terrible, and I do not want to be anywhere near them. And because I don't have connections to children right now, it's not hard to avoid them, so it's really easy, and I enjoy that. There's something, so I made the travel diary entry last night at like 2 o'clock in the morning before I left the airport and headed home. So that is video 1, and this is video 2. I don't know if there was anything else I was going to say, but now I get to post this and go to bed. So DFTBA, love you guys. I hope I see you on a video call this weekend. If not, see you next week. Don't forget to be awesome.